What's up, and welcome to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I'm your host, Kat Kozad, manifestation expert, money mindset and fulfillment coach, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur. Come sit with me while I spill the real tea on what it's like to practice using intentional manifestation, demystify all of the woo-woo and confusing bullshit that comes along with creating the life of your dreams, and give you a realistic view of what it's like to be on a personal, spiritual, and professional growth journey. The goal of this podcast is to support and guide you towards manifesting all of your dreams, shed light on the things that people are too scared to talk about, and encourage you to become the person who gets to have it all, be it all, and do it all. I am so happy you are here. Let's fucking do this thing. What's up, loves? Welcome back to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. If you are listening to this podcast today when it's being released, which is July 21st, 2022, I am either getting ready to get on a plane right now or am on a plane to the United Kingdom. I'm flying into London and I am going to be in England for a little over 5 weeks. And so I thought today's podcast episode would be super fitting given what I am doing in my personal life. And as you can see from the title, we're going to be talking about manifesting time freedom and the ability to travel the world, because people always ask me how I manifested time freedom and location freedom to be able to travel the globe in the way that I do. So let's freaking talk about it. This vision of the life that I have right now, the ability to have the time freedom, the location freedom, the financial freedom, to travel all around the globe and do what I want to do when I want to do it, is a vision that I always had for myself way before I started my own business, like way before I started my own business. I remember I'd always say to my mom, like, I wish I could just travel all around and live in Airbnbs and see the world and pick out the spot that I want to be. And I had no clue how I was going to make it happen, because at that time I was working in restaurants. I was working 60 plus hours a week, and I definitely didn't have the time, location, or financial freedom to do it. But I always knew that at some point I would. So the life that I am living now is such a manifestation of this vision that I had for myself for so many years, but just truly didn't know how I was going to make it happen, which, if you have been manifesting for a while, or if you listen to the podcast, you know that that's okay. Not knowing how or when your manifestations are going to come together, just knowing what you want and why you want it. But like I said, I always had this vision of living in different Airbnbs, trying out different places, and I got super clear on this vision for myself. I got clear on the fact that I wanted more than anything else that time, location, and financial freedom so that I could do this. And then as I was slowly but surely taking the inspired action, following my intuition, listening to the intuitive pulls that were coming up and taking action on them, I started to create this life for myself. The path became very clear. And if you are unsure of what that looked like for me, I actually just released a podcast episode last week about how I manifested my career path and how you can manifest a fulfilling career path for yourself. I think that episode was episode 63. So go check that out, because that will really help you understand how this path became clear to me, all of the signs of guidance and whatnot that led me to the position of manifesting my business. But like I said, I was taking the inspired action, and at the very beginning of 2022 specifically, because I had done quite a bit of traveling in 2021, but it still wasn't to the extent that I was wanting to travel, and this vision that I had for myself that I had been talking about of living all over the place, trying different Airbnbs, whatnot. I set the intention for myself at the very beginning of 2022 that I would travel every single month, at least once a month, and that was going to be what my reality was for at least one full year. And as I set that intention, it was crazy to see how many opportunities started to show up in my life to travel. Literally, like, opportunities started to show up left and right. So every single month this year, I have had the opportunity to travel, whether that been a friend reaching out to me and saying, hey, do you want to come here? Whether that be a work opportunity, different conferences, family, whatnot, all of these different opportunities all around the US and now going over to the UK and parts of Europe. That opportunity became so clear as well. So going back to what I was saying is, like, so many people are always asking me, like, how do you manifest this opportunity to travel all over the place? It's like, I just set the intention. I set the intention that that was something that I wanted to do and something that I was actually going to take action on if the opportunity presents itself. And here is the thing with that, is that I made this a priority. And what I mean by that is that our manifestations are always showing up for us, but we have to be willing to create the space and then prioritize them so that we can actually fully receive them. So what do I mean by that? I mean that you actively have to pursue your manifestations and be open to the way that they play out in your life. So for travel, for an example, if you are wanting to travel all around the world, have the opportunities to show up and present themselves, and then that actively starts to happen, but then you make the excuse as to why you can't, then obviously the opportunities are going to stop presenting themselves to you. Because here's the thing, when we set the intention for anything, the universe is going to meet us halfway in bringing that manifestation into our lives. So those opportunities, the different pathways, the different things are going to start to show up for you to take the inspired action on. And going back to the travel example, it's like, if you set that intention for yourself, but then a opportunity comes up to travel and you make some sort of an excuse as to why you can't do it, then the universe is always saying yes to you. And you turning that opportunity down, the universe is then going to say, okay, no, she doesn't want to travel. Got it. Not going to present those opportunities anymore. So when you can say that you want your intention and then actually make it a priority and actually take that action on receiving your manifestation, then of course you're actually going to manifest it and it's going to show up in your life. And another example of this can be like, if you want the time freedom, but then as you set that intention for the time freedom, you feel into the energy of it, you know so clearly that you want it, and then fill literally every single waking moment of your day with things to do, and then continually tell yourself how there's not enough time, then of course you're not going to manifest that time freedom because you're not prioritizing the freedom in your time. In order for us to receive these different things, and this is what I'm really trying to hit home on, is like, you have to rearrange your life oftentimes to be able to receive them. It's not, I think one of the biggest misconceptions about manifestation is that, like, we are in the position that it just so easily shows up in our lives. There's nothing we have to do. It's effortless. There's like literally nothing that stops us from receiving what it is that we want in our lives. But the reality is like, our manifestations typically show up in a way that we are not expecting. They show up in a way that isn't the most convenient, but they still show up. And then we have to actively do the work to continue to meet the universe halfway in receiving them, and then actively pursuing what it is and like making it a priority in your life. You have to shift to align with whatever it is that you want. So whether that be travel, whether that be time freedom, location freedom, the big incredible business, the partner, whatever, you must shift the different things in your life to prioritize what it is that you are wanting to receive. And if you are not doing that, then it's probably going to be more challenging to receive them. But just like putting yourself into practice with this and really seeing where you are standing in your own way and how you are roadblocking yourself, you are cock blocking yourself from receiving your manifestations is going to be so beneficial to you, because when you can be super honest with yourself of how you are actually standing in your way, whether that be with your actions, with your words, with your beliefs, with your emotions, whatever it is, then that is going to give you the starting point to start to clear that out and heal it and release it so that it is more effortless for you to receive your manifestations. Because that's been the biggest thing that I have seen for myself, especially with travel, is that when I first wanted to start to manifest more travel into my life, I was coming up with lots of excuses as why I couldn't. And one of those excuses was like, oh no, I want to be at home for this day, and this day for taking calls or for doing X, Y, and Z. I have an appointment, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you can do those things. You can rearrange. You can create a schedule where you're able to do those things while you're traveling, whatever it is. So if it is actually the priority to you, if traveling is the priority to you, you will find a way. Another example that I hear with this a lot is like, I want to travel, but I don't have the money. It's like, well, of course you don't if that is the story that you are telling yourself. That is then what is going to manifest. So instead of telling yourself that like, I can't travel because I don't have the money, start to say to yourself, like, how can I make this possible? How can I receive more money to be able to travel in the way that I want to? Because then that's going to energetically open you up to starting to receive the opportunities to travel, to make that money, to do all of the different things that will allow you to actually have this manifestation and do what you want. So, all of this to say, you can manifest whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want it, and really create the big, beautiful life that you want for yourself. But you have to make it a priority. You have to want it more than you are wanting comfort and more than you are wanting your limitations. And I know that sounds funky because consciously, we can all listen to that sentence and be like, well, I don't want my limitations. That's why I am listening to this podcast, or that's why I'm wanting to manifest this travel, or whatever the story is. But the reality is like all of us have limitations and all of us defend them because they keep us safe. So you must want your manifestation more than you want the comfort, more than you want the safety, because as you then manifest it and it comes into your life, you are able to retrain and reprogram your mind to see that it is actually safe for you to do these things that you're wanting to do. It is safe for you to travel. It is safe for you to spend that money. It is safe for you to not have to fill every waking moment with something in your calendar. It is safe for you to relax. It is safe for you to do X, Y, and Z, whatever it is that you're wanting to create for yourself, but without actually doing it, without actually creating that evidence for your subconscious mind and just allowing your limitation to stand in the way, then you won't give yourself the evidence that your subconscious mind needs to create a new association with your manifestation and with the safety that can come along with it. So if you listen to the podcast, you've probably heard me say this a million times, but what I encourage you to do is look at those limitations, look where you are getting in your own way, where you're holding yourself back from having the life that you want for yourself, and run head first towards the things that are creating you the most resistance. So going back to this travel example is like, if traveling is creating resistance for you, book a fucking trip. See what comes up for you. Is it the money beliefs? Is it the time beliefs? Is it work? Is it relationships? Is it your home? Like, what is it that is holding you back? What is the limitation that you are defending and you are holding onto when you are not allowing yourself to pursue whatever it is that you're wanting to do? And then do it anyways. show your subconscious mind, create the evidence of the fact that what you're wanting to do is actually safe for you, so that when it comes to then creating more opportunities for the travel that you want in the future, creating more time freedom, creating more financial freedom, then your brain has evidence of the fact that it's something that you can have and it's something that is safe, and therefore it will become a lot more effortless in the process of pursuing all of these things and manifesting these different things into your life. But ultimately, it comes down to, like I've been saying, making this a priority, recognizing what limitations you're defending right now, and then running head first towards whatever it is that's creating resistance for you in that manifestation, so that you are able to create new evidence of the fact that it is safe for you and that it's something that you are capable of having, being, and doing. So, short but sweet episode for today, but that is the greatest advice that I can give to all of you for wanting to manifest more travel and more time freedom, location freedom, whatnot into your life. And this is obviously what I teach. So if this is something that you are needing more support with, if this is something that you're really wanting to pursue in your life, send me a message on Instagram so that I can help you with this. Send me the words, "I want to be free," so that I know that you've listened to this podcast episode and this is what you're wanting to create for yourself in your life, and we can really help you get to that place. So the link to find my Instagram, if you're not already following me, is going to be down below in the show notes, but it is also at Kat Kozad. So send me a message over there and I will get back to them once I have landed in the UK and have settled in, because I get to see all of my incredible UK clients while I'm here and I'm so fucking excited, and all of my family as well. So super excited for all of that. And until the next podcast episode, I'm sending you all of my love. I'll chat with you then. Oh my gosh, thank you for listening to today's episode. I'm so grateful to have these no bullshit talks with you. If you enjoyed today's episode or the podcast as a whole, please spread the love by leaving me a review on iTunes or sharing the podcast with others. This is how I will be able to spread more of these good vibes and be able to make more of an impact on the lives of others. And if you're not already part of all of the goodness and communities that I have to offer, check out the show notes. I have links to the different ways that I can support you on your manifestation journey and help you live a life full of more money, fulfillment, and freedom. But that is all for now. So big love and hugs, and I will chat with you soon, babe.